back on the tail of Gunnar. As he's looking to make an overtake already. Down the inside he goes.
Is he gonna go?
He's gonna do it!
Oh, with Hackett now up into P9. Down the inside he goes. Another aggressive move on the other Mercedes driver. Is he gonna make a mistake? Doesn't look like.
Skip the closing. Problem is, if he goes.
Oh, that's nice for Broad Adam, moving up to P7.
As he's currently looking to gain about 3 or 4 points. Oh, and is Nelboy going to go for it down the inside of Waza? Seems like he is, and he makes up that position. Beautiful overtake by Nelboy.
12 races, multiple divisions, 20 drivers.
All that sound good? Then why not join us now ahead of the new season? The link to our Discord will be in the description, and we hope to see you on track with us.
Delta T Racing.
Evening everyone, and welcome DTR. This is round 7. Track is out in town, but the weather doesn't look loud. With the potential weather condition. Burning time. Section of we're in for the big stuff. You're watching Division 2, of course. Deeper Ellis, 34. All of It could be some rain on the way. Know that the next getting rain. Once he does finish his outlap, quick look actually, and it have a new Drivers Challenge. Thomas Aaron first victory any league. I'm gonna have a kind of drop to P3. Lipke, Andre, and Bog. Top 5 in your construction racing with the raising of drivers. Ferrari still ever consistent. 5. Pat's doing very consistent. Middle of the pack. And unfortunately, has Aaron, then Red Bull. He's done the tricky part of breather down this DRS as final as he anything. Very good. Going my west. Triple right-hander kills that left hand on the straight. Really big beat. Back. Big dodgy cambered final corner. Very early open DRS. Johnny goes all for now with a 3-8-5-6. Lipke quickly disposes of his pole, a 33.85. Then done again by Hummer with a 33.402. Stones joins them by setting I'm on Eason 33. He'll be looking after they can beat one in the Drivers' Championship. Lots of Aaron Connor sets at 33.5. Lovely. Do him good. One beer and then Harry Potter beat in his first lap. He's going the battery. Pretty tricky. Rain on the way. Finish. Opposite. P9 with a teammate skipper on an outlap. Not Rush coming round with right hander, as I said, left tyre is just screaming out wide. Steve, oh wait, it's on the inside, but very well done. Not taking it. Might actually. Good flanker lap. Still Mikey, no practice. This will get interesting. Where he put 9 at 34, 7, 1, 8. Yeah, good Adams. Mikey's on. It's pass. Oh, about that, he's definitely got the fuel battery now. Sounds like right, let me know if that's any better. And where were we? Got a yellow flying sector 3 will be out the way to keep there, I would assume. Guys are outlaps. Go back with Scones. He's in sector 3. A decent amount of battery left, considering there's not much space to use it in this part of the lap. Filling in for Nelboy tonight. Hopefully he will be. Yes, thanks, buddy. Your input is always appreciated. I'm just gonna have to invite Nathan because he Scones dives into the pits. Maybe just ruined the end of his lap there by being. Couldn't see him then. Check back in a couple of minutes. Opposite, he's in the pit. Skipper is still out. He's coming in on this lap. Vicky is setting a outlet. An outlet on for now. You fucking seen Nathan on it. There he is. Invite sent. He validates his outlet. Thankfully not on the final corner. Better not be in my seat. Well, we'll find out, won't we? A lot of race to go, and there's plenty of opportunities to definitely do your part. Traction and grip limited means that you get a lot of different occasions where you think you're going to spin or almost hit someone. But hopefully, for your sake now, there will be no excrement or of any kind left in that seat. A nice line through the main part of Sector 1, but as I just mentioned, very, very easy to lose a bit of the rear around this track, especially in the S section. So fast, so big in terms of the change direction. Not bad out of that hairpin. It's so easy to go deep and ruin your line down this long straight, which is the last thing you want to do when trying to set the fastest lap. You want to have the best run all the way down into what is another harsh braking zone. So much of this inside curb can be cut, but taken. Ferrari driver this time. Again, just a little wide on a couple of these corners. Tyres starting to give up at this point in the lap, always. At least for me, anyway. Nice way, tight line through the triple right-hander at the end. I must admit, I'm a little fearful. Whoa, that was close to disqualification, but he keeps seeing the white lines. He comes across the line to go pole with a 33.285. I'm sure he'll be just happy with that, even if he was a little bit squirmy in those corners. As I was saying, I might be a little bit fearful in the race. That is not going to go well if you're doing that all the way through your race. O'Connor, 33.5 for now. He wants to take pole. He wants to stay leading the driver's back, and that is going to do him good for now. A 33.1 puts him on the pole. Almost just started his lap. His teammate Johnny just went through the first sector of his lap. Not much battery. Maybe he has just finished his lap. Must have actually. 33.669. Yeah, that's a different time for him than it was previous. Young Exility, 133.905 for now. Can he improve on that? Nathan with connection issues that you'll get into. You know if you need another invite, Nathan. 133.5, near 3.5 tenths improvement for him. That'll be very good for the two Red Bull third and fourth. There's a fast one on point. One of those stones on his outlet. 50. In the bottom three corners. Andre not set a time yet because he validated this one. He's not got a huge amount of time left to set himself on that. You've got, let's see, what is it? Who's on that? It'd be really good if you showed who's on in-laps. In-laps, and he was on racing. Oh, Paul, go on board with Paul Beer. 34.2 for now. Ferrari gets nicely out of the way on the outside of the track. Unlike some yesterday. Very aggressive turn in there for the penultimate corner. That's pretty good from him. Improves by just over 4 tenths to a 33.7. That's P7. So yellow flags around the track. Getting out of the way. We're not having issues. So it looks like Johnny might have had an issue on his line lap. Grass on that left hand side. Telltale sign of someone who's had a slip up. Stones goes across the final, around the final corner and across the line to go P4 at 33.5. Hopefully that's good enough for you now. Brother Adam still on his way into the bits. Looks like Nathan has made it in based on what is going on in the chat. Hopefully he'll have time to go and set a lap. Skip next across the line, a little bit hesitant through the front one there. Didn't want to go wide, so lifted up a little bit. 34.4 for now. A 34.1 will be his best time. There he is. Nathan's made it. Well done. Hey, this is a disqualified lap for NLD Rush, but he's got the important stuff to go again, so I'm sure he will. If his teammate Composite comes across the line to start a lap, maybe? No, he's run out back. Maybe just not improving on his previous time over 36.2. Hopefully he can go a bit quicker of that leaderboard. You guys coming out of the pits by the looks of it. We've got an Aston Martin of the cap making his way out. 34.713 for now. He'll be looking to improve to get into that top 10 to fight for some points. This man we're going to ride on board with for a lap because he's been bigging himself up for tonight. Let's not bottle this one, eh, Mr. McLaren? A good race, obviously, last week to take the win in Azerbaijan. Can he keep the form up today? Try and go for pole position. He's got 6/10 to gain on Havoc Connor for now, so a big lap will be needed. A little bit deep into turn one. None of that inside curve taken, which normally I would like to try and do. You want to take the smallest amount of turn through all those corners just to make it as quick as possible. Scrub the tyres as little as possible through there. Take as much speed as you can. A tricky section up the hill means that you always have to watch out the rear stepping out on you. Harsh braking into the hairpin. This is the last time we'll need to think about braking for a while. DRS will open very shortly. The ERS, of course, is on overtake. He wants the most acceleration possible and the highest top speed possible to set the fastest time possible. Easy to love the fronts, but of course this man uses assists because he is a really great driver. 3.5 tenths up for now. That is enough for this point of the track. Plenty of time can be gained in the sector 3, although that looked deep. But he's going to cut back in and have a lovely exit going into the right-hander. Keep it tight, put a bit of battery on, and this corner goes by so quickly. A nice tight line through there. The penultimate corner, a little bit ahead to not quite make the apex of that penultimate corner. Will he do it on the final corner? A bit wide again. DRS and ERS on. Will he cross the line for pole? 5.5 tenths faster. It won't be enough, but it wouldn't have been enough anyway, because Hummer's the first man to break into the 1:32s. Fastest lap for you, sir. That will be a very good lap. With 40 seconds left, it is definitely one to watch for pole. You got Picky on an out lap, but this is not too close to the end. Hopefully you'll get another lap in. You might have to bear with me for a little bit because it is going to be incredibly hard to keep up with all the times as they come across. I'll keep an eye on the track map. It should help. Got that's Pipke coming across the line to start his lap. He will just about make it. A couple of cars into the Pittsburgh. Lekatis, is it potentially? Going through the last sector to finish his qualifying. Will it be a good enough lap to get him into the top 10? No, didn't improve, or did improve, but only by half a tenth. Means he stays P15. Got a few drivers getting out of the way in sector 2 and 3. I think that is Summers. He's finished his qualifying fourth by Ogorovsky. He's finished as well. Must have had an incident through his lap that means he's not going to finish it. Next man across the line will be Tom Putty. There's a few drivers behind him actually that hopefully aren't getting too disrupted by any dirty air on their lap. All the battery has been deployed for this lap on Tom Putty's Mercedes. He almost invalidates on the corner. Just has to turn out a little bit to make sure at least some of his 4 tyres stay on the track. He won't improve. The McLaren of Mikey will improve up to P10 and a 33.691 puts it into the point positions for now. That's good stuff there. Ombeer finishes in P11. But the other Mercedes of Brother Adam, a 33.8. improves to a 33.6 dead. Agility wouldn't improve on his lap. Well, there you go. Haven't Connor with a P2. Sorry, I missed that. A 33.133. A fantastic lap for him. Hipke sneaks in just 2,000s behind on a 33.135. He was the last man, I believe. Trying to start a qualifying lap. Nathan, of course, didn't the lap, so finishes right at the bottom. I did say it. Keep an eye on Hummer with a 32.8 for pole position after he set that lap. It was a big gap between himself and Summers. Few people slide in, but they weren't close enough. A pole position from the Red Bull. Well, a slightly surprising qualifying. These Summers, obviously, as I mentioned, picking up himself a little bit before the race, brought Falcon sitting on pole in time trial. Didn't break into the 32s, didn't have a brilliant lap as we saw forward. There you have it, Hummer on pole in the Red Bull, the only man to break into the 30s. Have a Connor P2. That is good. Hipke as well, ever consistent with his teammate following very closely. Keith Scones, the P6. Hopefully you're happy with that, Nil. A 33.5 set there. Young Agility on the grid, not for tonight, but in this season in general. P. Go through the rest. Get the start, finish, straight line, grid box, motion lap, whatever. Of course, the drivers will be hoping that their setups will work in both the quali and the race, and if they didn't work in quali, then hopefully it'll work in the Fireware, a massive factor around a track. It's incredibly hot and has a lot of heavy braking zones and a lot of pressure on the tyres around here. Happening again with your mics, laggy. It's just too. I love technical issues. They are my favourite. Seeing it looks fine. It might have just been a little too. Let me know again, Benny, if it starts acting up. Or, well, if it's already better for. And on to the grid they come to start their formation lap. Get all of our information on that. Oh. Okay, we've got a hard sandwich. That's the thing. Hummer starting on the hards, as well as Nathan all the way right at the back in P20. Rest of the grid mainly on the medium tyre. Then 2. Skipper and Tom Putty off the top. Tyre does not lap at all. Interesting where they end up doing something. Apologies, let me go quickly. Why that? Right. Let's see with that. Just move. Okay. Where were we? Tyre strategy. As you can see, everyone is starting on their own selection. Hard, a little bit of a gamble, in my opinion, for the 2 guys at the front and the back. We will ride on board with Ipke for the start. Usually get a good eye of who is doing well in front and in the back. Johnny and Bug have decided to crash into each other on the formation lap. Fantastic work, those two guys. I know they are brilliant at formation lap stuff. Let me know if it gets particularly bad reading the mic, but hopefully it should be a bit better. Homer manages to miss his grid box, which will be catastrophic for him starting on the hard tyre. Be prepared to see a move into turn one of the two guys behind on mediums. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. Held them for a while. Lecazzi's got a drive-through penalty from jumping the start. As I said, we've got two drivers going for an overtake into turn one. We'll go off board for this. This could be carnage. D someone's on the inside as well. Oh dear, they've squeezed into oh no. Oh, I can't watch. The top three are now the bottom. Bug's out. After a poor race yesterday, an even poorer one today, didn't even make it past turn one for the Haas driver. D Summers inherits P1 after watching the three behind him just sit there, squeezed, hugging, kissing, whatever you want to call it. Andre picks up P2 and Scones finishes off the podium. It's just a VSC for now. Not sure how Bug DNF'd. Looked like you'd gone real deep. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to look at it now, aren't we? Let's have a look at position changes. We've got 3 positions for the majority of this grid. A few 6s, a 4, 5, and an 8 mixed in there, but 15 positions and 18 positions for those 3 at the back, although they are switching around now. We will get rid of that because that's going to go mental by the looks of it. It's a few people going side by side. We'll have a look at this fight ahead of us. The Red Bull and the Mercedes through sector 3. Very easy to go side by side through here, but you never want to because the tyres are screaming at you. Brother Adam wins on this occasion. What else have we got? Looks like everyone has finally decided to get through one by one. Although there's still a bit of fighting going on between Pablo and Composite here. And Lecazzi is centered of the inside of the penultimate corner. That's a very opportunistic move. Glad I called that one. Tries to cut the corner on the final corner, just for good measure. Those two with penalties. I'll check those out in a second. Havoc Connor, of course, wanting to make moves as quickly as possible now. On the inside of the Composite, he will go into turn one. Nice move. That is barely very good there. He's done that. Pipke's also done Hummer into turn one. They have got a big task ahead of them. Hello, Mirror. I hope you've not just joined because you will have missed the start, which was quite entertaining. D Summers out in front now. A good gap for him and the 2 behind him to the rest of the pack, with around 2.5 seconds now off of those guys. Pipke makes a move on Composite at the back. And Hummer as well will follow. Let's have a look. No moves I can see into turn one, although there might be one there for Pablo down the inside of Nathan. That's a move done and dusted, but Nathan maybe coming back around the outside. I think he'll be wiser to do it. Just fall in now with the hard tyre on. The Cats is next on Connor's list. He'll send it up the inside. Hopefully just about makes it. I think he was very wary that he might have had a bit of car turning on him and just leaves the extra space. Hopefully he won't get a track warning there, despite giving plenty of room to the Cats ahead of him. How behind him? D Summers did set a fast lap, but I believe it was taken by Scones as he goes a bit deep into turn one. That could have been calamitous for his front wing, but he keeps it out the rear of Andre. He rush and Tom Putty banging wheels into turn one. Got to be careful through there. So easy to lock the tyres when you come over that crest. The fronts just lift off the ground with that change in slope. And of quick look actually at that penalty. I was just interested in what that was. 10 seconds for Pablo. I think that might have been for hitting someone in the first few laps. Back up to the top 3. We almost saw a move from Scones into turn 1. And we see one from Andre. 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths. He'll jump to the inside, dive it all the way down into the hairpin with a bit of DRS assistance. Takes a very, very cautious line through there. A bit cautious for my liking. I reckon he could have had the move done there. Still, though, he's making himself known to D Summers. Not driving away like he did at Azerbaijan this race, mate. Little Mikey on the move past Ombeer in the 3rd sector. That's fantastic stuff for a man that never practices. He'll be hoping to get into Johnny's DRS behind Young Exility and Brother Adam. Back down to the fast guys that had their incident at the start. We've got a yellow flag for Williams, who crashed and is out, I think. Well, not quite. I think I mistook a bit of wing damage there where he completely ripped off the tyre. He will come into the pits, fit a new wing. If you want to crash anywhere, it's going to be there. Drive straight into the pits and fit that new wing on Pablo and have a Connor going at it into turn 1. A bit of touchy-feely around the outside there. He's going to have to fight that one another day. Absolutely gapped Pipke and gapped Hummer even more. Those hard tyres not doing him any favours early on in this race. Jump up to a few of these guys, see if there's any overtakes going on. There might be one here for Johnny, very close to the Red Bull in front. Red Bull goes defensive on the inside. A bit of wing damage there, you can see actually, for him. Connor's made the move on Pablo to the hairpin. Around the outside, Johnny's going to try. Very respectful racing there. Good stuff. Is going to get the run out of that corner. Bit of a lock up from the Red Bull there. Not going to fight it again, I wouldn't think. No, just falls in behind. Another lock up actually for that Red Bull driver. I wouldn't know any Red Bull drivers locking up around this track at all recently. On board with Connor, he is right up the backside of all the drivers in front. He is hungry to get back up to the top of the field. Stick on board. I reckon we're going to see a move. A 3-second penalty we see actually. Rather Connor. We should maybe see a move into turn 1. No, actually. Hold off for now. Probably the wiser thing to do. With a 2 in front. Almost hitting each other. That was really odd. Oh, Connor, go for it. Oh! Oh no! Oh, Skipper and Raikkonen coming together in turn 1 there, almost making the same mistake the front 3 did in turn 1. Almost took Connor out, but that's a double overtake for him into turn 2. Glad we stuck on board for that. Sorry, I was just looking at a text message there. I think we almost saw Pablo go down the inside of a happen. Connor, he's given him a tap in the hairpin, which almost spins him. I would have thought Havoc Connor would have gone for a move on Tom Putty and maybe lost a bit of momentum to take it, but is he going to go for it anyway? Down the inside. On the Mercedes driver under braking, he thinks about it. Ever so close hitting the back of that car there, but he did just about come out of that moving time. Up the top, we've got a bit of a gap forming between D Summers and Andre. He's just fallen out of that DRS detection zone. No damage. The Ferrari driver I can see there. Maybe just having to manage those medium tyres in the dirty air of the McLaren. Johnny has gapped the Red Bull behind him. He's well out of DRS and under threat from the McLaren of Pombeer. The 2 drivers, Tom Putty and Havoc Connor, going side by side through the final corner there. Tom Putty will have the advantage of DRS into turn 1 and likely make the move. Pablo's going to go for it as well. Yes, he is at the inside. Plenty of respect given there. I think those soft tyres for the Mercedes driver are failing him. Side by side through turn 2. One of you's going to have to give way unless you can make it through again. And that is not good. Oh my word. And that is out. Mercedes out. Fantastic. I'm glad we got that. Just, oh, and that's a safety car as well. It is possible to go through there side by side. You really have to be prepared for it. And Tom Putty just turned in far too early for the Aston Martin, who really didn't have the right to the space, but can't just turn in on someone either. It's going to be an interesting one that will go to the stewards, I presume. Tom Putty out of this race. He joins Barry Bogarowski in the DNFers. A safety car, though, means a couple of things. Number one, everyone's strategy is out the window, especially those who started on hards, Nathan and Bomber. It also means another thing, the tyres do get a bit of a break. So it means there's less racing, which is good for anyone who struggles on their tyres, like me, around this track. But we're going to keep an eye actually on tyres. As, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no, yep, yep. These Summers comes into the pits, and I assume a lot of other people will too. We'll just take a look at the replay I got actually. While we wait for these guys to sort themselves out in the pits into turn one, up the inside on the Mercedes driver. With the really dying out soft tyre. He gets the inside line and of course stretches slightly ahead, then just turns in too early. No space is given to Aston Martin, and I'm sure he will be saying that the Aston Martin don't deserve any. He will DNF in that incident, taking the right front on the barrier. That is unfortunate for him. Watch that one more time. Turns in, just gets stuck together as the Aston Martin turns right, and then that is it. He's in the wall. That's race finished. So, looking back at everyone, Hummer stayed out on his hard tyres, 6 laps done on them, but when you're gaining that many places, it could potentially be a good move. Be interested to see where he remains with pace against the guys who've all just come in for a fresh set. Pablo also stays out on his medium tyres. Interesting, him trying to make moves with the safety car there. That was interesting. Trying to go for a switchback on the safety car. Not going to work this time, unfortunately. Majority of the drivers, as you can see, pitting for the hard tyre. Makes sense. Nathan, of course, started on the hard tyre, so he's picked up a fresh set of mediums. He might be hoping to make on this start. Katz is the same. Skipper has got some hards on with 1 lap on them. Not sure if that was because he was almost a lap down and managed to pit early, or maybe he pitted lap 1. A few penalties thrown around. We'll put those. Blow 13 seconds. He obviously picked up that incident with someone at the start hitting them, and I think whoever it was that also picked up the same 10 seconds pitted, so it might have been Skipper, but I'm not 100% sure. Scones 3 seconds and Connor 3 seconds, the only 2 with 3 second penalties at the moment. I must say, it is easy to get track limits warnings around here. It's always easier once the tyre wear has crept in. Another lap for the safety car. I thought it might have come in then, but a few of the guys just haven't catch up to the back of the pack. We might. I think I'm gonna stay on board with Hummer this restart. Got the older tyre by about 6 laps. Yep, 6 laps older tyre than everyone else. Shouldn't be caught on the jump too much with being in P4. He'll have a good eye at D Summers when he does the restart, so it couldn't. Yeah, Andre, the main one, who might get caught out. Scones will be looking to make a move, I'm sure, on the Ferrari driver as well. We should definitely keep an eye on Harry Connor and Ibki out in P11 and P12, just outside the points for now, where they'll be making moves, slower drivers ahead of them. This is definitely a slow safety car around here, or at least it feels slow. Absolutely despise the track myself, though I must say it has provided plenty of entertainment thus far. Race control, safety car in this lap. These Summers, of course, will inherit control of the pace of the pack all the way through Sector 3. He will be absolutely screaming at the fact the game won't let him accelerate like most people do. Lots of weaving, of course, doesn't do anything, but you always do it to try and disguise your attempt at restarting the race. I suspect he'll be going after the final corner. In fact, he might just try and go early and try and catch Hummer with the tyre where he's got not really a definite place to go on the safety car around this track. He's gone now at the ultimate corner. A few people will still be through that corner thinking, I can't put the foot down just yet, otherwise I will spin these cold tyres up. Decent start for him. Hummer has kept with them. Johnny, actually, the one caught lacking under that. The DRS detection is out for now, but I'm sure with a bit of concertina effect on the four in front, he will just about make it back in sectors 1 and 2. No moves as of yet. Pablo on the older mediums, of course, I say that, and then Connor does one on Mikey, potentially getting through there. Mikey well aware of the guy in front of him now having much more pace. Aston Martin picks up a 3-second penalty. Sector 1, and that's a lovely switchback there for young Exility on the Aston Martin. Alan Connor thinks about it around the outside, which turns to the inside, but he's spun in the back of the Aston Martin. That's almost taken out a couple of other drivers. He has once again been set back and will have to push through this pack. Although he's got lots of front wing damage now after colliding with, I think it was Picky. Backing up those three behind him, almost coming together as well into the hairpin. I'm glad I'm catching all of this. No moves up here at the front. Little Mikey. NLD Rush picks up 3 seconds. We've got a few guys back here going side by side as it looks like through the straight, and very harsh left-hander. 90 degrees, probably even less than that. Through there. Connor struggling with that front wing damage. Nathan is the next man to pick the 3-second penalty. Looks like he did it whilst making an overtake on composite. He's under threat now from NLD Rush through the triple right-hander. Connor is just dropping back more and more and more. And Nathan right on the back of him now. He's going to try and get out of the way. He's going to have to pit. He's going to have to get everyone past just to make it into the pits. It's a catastrophic restart for the RB driver. Hummer doing well to keep up, but just out of that DRS detection, as I mentioned, Johnny got back in. I'd like to see a move from him, I suspect, on this lap. A few of the other guys just starting to eke a gap out to each other now. We'll stick on board with Johnny. Teammate of Howard Connor, of course. This rate, he will be overtaking his teammate in the Drivers' Championship. DRS wax on, DRS wax open. Going to be a pretty easy move by the looks of it with that DRS advantage down the inside. Just about gets ahead of the Red Bull driver into the hairpin. Lovely move, lovely and simple for the Red Bull driver. He will be making his way up to the back of Scones if he can. Young Exility, the closest driver yet. The guy in front, Ombeer in this case, the hard tyre, fresh hard tyre, doing him good work. Nice bit of inside line there on the Williams in front, keeping the fresh, clean air on that front wing as opposed to the dirty air. Much, much better for your tyres, Ebbs. DRS for the Williams in front means he will not have the advantage into turn 1. No gaining there him on Brother Adam. Andre drops scones behind with a yellow flag because of Pablo having interesting issues going into the pits there, or not going into the pits. Really hit the wall. He's made it in finally. E. Summers is just about breaking away from Andre. He will drop DRS, the Ferrari driver behind. No DRS for Andre this time round. Also, I assume this was not the Ferrari driver he had in mind when it came to fighting around this track after qualifying. Going and doing everything he can. Keep up with the two in front. 0% battery for a moment there down that straight. Young Exility makes the move on the Williams into the hairpin, on the braking down the inside. Move done and dusted. Nice one there. NLD Russian Composite going at each other. Bit of a lock-up it looked like for Composite there. His teammate's going to have a look at the inside, but not go for anything just yet. Not the place you really be wanting to make a move. Back up to the top. Andre got back into the DRS detection zone. Didn't get in there early enough, it would seem. Getting down the DRS straight route, down the start-finish straight, I should say. Brother Adam very quickly surpassed by the Red Bull of Young Exility. He is on a charge through this pack. He's got a bit of a break now. A bit of clean air will definitely be welcome for the Red Bull driver, I should say. His teammate up ahead on the hard tyres. 3 seconds, as you've just seen, he went well off track through that S section. Very easy to do, as I found out for myself yesterday. Benny, if you are there, let me know if the mic's been good since we had our issues. I'm assuming it is because you haven't said anything, but I just want to double check. No move for Hummer, of course. Those old tyres only doing enough to keep him within the DRS for now. Might have, I just missed a bit of a battle between these two, but nothing coming of it for Brother Adam. Not sure about this camera. It's meant to be the off-board camera, but it's certainly not. There we go. Triple right-hander beats those left tyres up big time. No moves as of yet. Brother Adam picks up a 3-second penalty. Did he cut the corner to try and make a move into turn 1? We're about to find out. DRS and DRS on, but not gaining really on the Red Bull in front as he moves back to the racing line. Take the better line through the first corner. Runs a bit deep, just keeps it on track. Will he be underfoot from the Mercedes? No, he's going to sit back and wait it out. Oh, that's wide there. Not a good line to keep your pace through the S section. That should be a 3-second penalty, but definitely a warning, I would have thought. Raikkonen picks up the next 3-second penalty. Just in DRS, not be in there for too long by the looks of it. Just edging out that 1-second gap. Still Mikey and Pipke on the back of Pombeer now. Pipke, of course, one of the 3 who had their incident at the very start of this race. He'll be looking to make moves into more points. Just about in the points now. 1 point for P10. He will want plenty more than that, though. His state of his championship so far going well for him. Pablo, 3-second penalty for you. Not able to stick. Hold on, he's pitting. Ah, he's got damage. Looked like he might have a bit of wing damage on the left-hand side there. Wasn't sticking to the back of Mikey through sector 3, or rather the triple hander specifically, and look, there's no end play on that car. fresh set of tyres for the Ferrari driver and a fresh wing to boot. Little Mikey right on the back of Pombeer through the edge section. That's incredibly close. More want to be through there with the dirty air absolutely hammering down on the front of your car. Bit of oversteer there for the McLaren driver. A good exit here will get him the move done. Though that Williams is just absolutely flying down the straight. Very late upshifts for the McLaren driver here. Potentially not helping his top line speed or acceleration. Might mention that to him later on. Johnny has picked up before, of course, earlier, taking Hummer. Andre picks up 3 seconds as well. That's the second one for him, I believe. But Johnny's picked up the DRS as well. Scones ahead. Of course, does not need to pass him to get the move done after he count back. But every single position on track you can get, you will go and get it. I'd love a still camera to be looking straight down those S's, just so you can see the real speed it's taking through them. Straight still cameras always get the best shots in F1, I believe. Zoomed in as well helps. Bit of oversteer out of the hairpin for the RB means he's not got the best of the best exits. He's going to have a lot of DRS and DRS to use though. That top speed for him, 204 miles an hour, nothing the Haas driver can do to defend, although he almost goes into the back of the RB driver. I think he might have just, he had a Haas car straight for his pass and turned in a little earlier to avoid that. Yeah. Little Mikey still right on the back of Pombeer. Couldn't make the move in DRS that time around. Might have to do it in a slightly more unorthodox area of the track to get this one done. I believe he's got more pace and will leave the Williams driver in the dust. Does get past. In fact, we'll take a look at the position changes. Lots and lots has gone on since the start of this race. The biggest of losers, Hamilton Connor, after having 2 massive incidents which caused him to drop well down the back and pit more than he would like to. 15 positions is lost in this race so far. Pitke as well, one of those caught up in that lap 1, turn 1 into the 13 positions lost to him. Hummer, the other driver, but hasn't pitted, probably for the better, you would say, at this point in time. Only 4 positions down, he hasn't had to deal with a little bit of traffic, especially drivers who are not used to battling with. Our biggest winner for the race, who has just in fact picked up 3 seconds, is our boy Nathan, who finished, or didn't finish actually, because he didn't take part in qualifying, just about made it into qualifying to start the race in his Alpine. 8 positions up for him, thanks to a little bit of misfortune from the rest, and of course his own ability to avoid serious incidents. Almost saw a move for Lancaptis on Raikkonen into the hard left-hander before it starts. Our other big winner is Johnny, after qualifying in, well, what is it, P10. 7 positions gained, P3 on the podium. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that. Young Exility makes a move on his teammate. In fact, no, he hasn't, because his teammate's in the pit. 17 laps done on his hard tyres. mediums are strapped on now, he will have lots of pace coming into his final stint of this race. Just 11 laps to go after this one. A quick mention to D Summers, who is just cruising out in front at the moment. 3.5 seconds gap, him and P2, and of course penalty. He can drop back even further than that. Not seen much from him, of course, because he's not been in any incidents. Kept it clean. It's easy to do when you're out in front, even though he started in P4, I believe it was. Or 5, was it? P4, yeah, P4 for the McLaren. And enough of that. Back to a bit of racing. Johnny just 1.3 off the back of Andre now. Like I mentioned earlier, got to make these moves on the cars in front because of those penalties. Gonna go and try and do it anyway. Homer, fresh mediums, of course, for him means he is making right centre. I reckon he'll make a move on Nathan maybe before final corner. Well, Nathan paused to the pits, so I think that technically means I'm right. I'm sure this lap he's going on to now will likely be the fastest of the race, at least for the time being. Johnny picks up 3-second penalty through the S section of Sector 1. Scones right on the back, actually, has not let go of him as of yet. DRS for him, I'm sure, will be keeping him within that one and just needs the DRS even more. Nathan comes out on some fresh mediums. I'm assuming he will carry those to the end of this race. Scones has made a move on Johnny into the left-hander at the end of the DRS. Fireware maybe not going in the favour of the RB driver. Plenty of laps done on those hard tyres. $11 laps now. 10 laps to go. I would not think that these drivers could do 21 laps, on these tyres. Of course, it'll be 22 by the time they finish. Not entirely surprised that these summers haven't pitted yet. There's got plenty of time. You consider the penalties, just waiting out the drivers to first. He can follow them in a lap afterwards. He'll likely be ahead, and of course, make sure that he can get an extra lap of advantage on his final stint. He just dropped out of the DRS of Scones. Might have had a slight slide. Sector 1. Captain picks up another 3-second penalty. Penalty rush pits for some fresh medium tyres. Sorry if that wasn't a warning. It might have been a warning maybe, and just not a penalty yet. Definitely looked close to track limits. Raikkonen ahead of Homer. I don't think it will be for long though. Oh, almost making contact on the exit of the hairpin. Real close. DRS, of course, out of the corner with the traction of those fresh tyres does him insanely well. Get past the Alpine DRS to get the move finished without a bit of DRS. The move there for Homer into P9. Over the back, going at it. Having Connor making the move on Nathan. Nathan's going to fight it though. ERS and DRS is on. In fact, it was Nathan going for the move on Connor, who didn't have any DRS. The move with the fresh tyres done. The Alpine man who didn't set a qualifying time. In the DRS detection, Johnny He'll be sitting pretty in this little bit of a DRS train on Andre Jones. Penalties means that he's not going to make any positions though. Having Connor another 3 seconds gets him up to 9 seconds of 9 seconds of penalties. Vicodin as well picks up another 3. Let's see a move here for Scones. On the inside on the Ferrari, brakes just in time to leave the space. The Ferrari leaves a gap on the inside anyway, just in case the Haas doesn't quite get on those brakes early enough. Gonna go for a switchback. Can turn in early? No, he's not. He's gonna leave it as it is for now. Homer, of course, making a position on all the drivers ahead of him. Looking wonders. These two still going at it. I'm sure Johnny will be well pleased to see that happening. A good bit of traction out here could get a move done for the RB driver. Won't be this time. At this point of the race, probably considering more about keeping those tyres in, actually making position. He's real close on the entrance to the S section. Not a single driver other than these two in DRS at the moment. Skipper runs into the pits. See what tyres he jumps onto. Fresh set of softs with 7 laps to go. Should make it to the end, but they'll leave it sketchy. Johnny, looks like the Haas moved out of the way from there potentially. Maybe there was a bit of garnish going on earlier that he just thinks he should deserve to give the position back to the RB driver. Anyway, that's a move for Johnny back up to P3 where he was earlier. Bill Mikey on to make another position on Brother Adam. Having got to do it on track with the assistance of that penalty. Remember where to find it. There it is, 6 seconds. Brother Adam will actually drop him 3 positions at this current stage. Oh, again a big kick of oversteer for the McLaren driver in the final corner. DRS will hopefully get him back in that 1 second gap up into turn 1. From back, the first 3 that are racing hard. Andre, Johnny and Stones. Connor, penalty rush, and Nathan pick up 3-second penalties, one after the other. A bit of a dodgy exit for the Ferrari there. Not going to be good for him and his hopes of keeping that P2 on track from Johnny. ERS and ERS down the inside he goes. Not quite done just yet. A little tap, but nothing too much. That is a move done for the RB driver. It's a P2. The Ferrari right behind almost goes into the back of him under braking. We're going to get a flagged sector 1 for D Rush and Havoc Connor. I'm not too sure what happened in those two. Connor having what is possibly one of his worst races. Considering the DNFs do already this season, it is not an easy feat. Goes right on the back of the Ferrari, going to send it up the inside. It's turn 1, and it's a big hit into turn 1. It just didn't look like he even turned in. That is a questionable move there for Stones. Hopefully he didn't give Andre any damage. Oh, he did a bit of end plate damage for the Ferrari left-hand side. Of course, gives Johnny a nice, great big breather. 3.5 seconds, the gap between those guys now. Homer picks up a 3-second penalty, his first for tonight, as he chases down Brother Adam and Lil Mikey. Very, very close, following in the DRS and DRS. Lil Mikey looks to break the toe with the Mercedes behind him. Does a decent job, not close enough at all, Brother Adam here. Make a move into the left-hander, just as a sneak peek though, if he might do. And back into the DRS of Andre, of course, with that damage he's carrying, it's likely he is suffering big time. Even with just that end plate damage, doesn't affect you too much around most tracks. This one, it really does. Take a quick look, actually, at that incident that we saw into turn 1. DRS for both of them sends it up the inside, well within his reason to do so, but just doesn't turn in for the corner at all. Completely misses his turn in. Ferrari expecting to turn in, just hammers the right-hand side of that Haas driver, and a big bit of damage for the front wing of Andre there. Yeah, one more time. That's a big slam that is. I'm surprised it wasn't even worse. Brother Adam's round in turn 1. A spin for the Mercedes driver. Bill Mikey gets a bit of a breather from him. Homer means that he's back up to P7 behind Lil Mikey. That is a shame for him. Those tyres starting to give out with just 5 laps to go. Surely this is a move now for the Red Bull. Likely tyre advantage, although the mediums, of course, will be going off much quicker than those hards. ERS and DRS, he'll take the inside line, or the left-hander is got a good cars length rather, between himself and the McLaren. That is a move done and dusted. Katz is right behind Nathan, although he's not got any DRS to contend a move into the left-hander. At the end of the DRS, those mediums doing Nathan a decent job around here. Someone's in P1 again. He's doing really well. Great, thanks. Johnny, up to P2. 6 seconds off the leader. 8 positions gained. Fantastic race for him, we must say. Andre and Scones 2 positions apiece after their teammate Pipke, or his teammate I should say, Pipke having his incident at the start. Look, that's his 3-second penalty to do. That is one of a trillion we've had so far. No one in DRS detection other than these two, but I reckon Scones is just letting Ferrari stay ahead of him after the incident in turn 1. Feels bad. Respect. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. Brakes very early that time and still almost pushes the Ferrari wide. Doesn't gain the position. The Ferrari potentially backs out of it. Wary, as you would probably be after a move like that. He made it to turn 1 and never mind. He sent one up the inside. Have that, Scones. A bit of your own medicine. Good move there from Andre. The person picked up 3 seconds, I believe, while we were watching that little go through sector 3. I can't remember who it was though. Homer down 5 positions, of course, nowhere near as bad as those 2 behind him that were there earlier. Avocado down 12 positions and 58. The yellow flag in sector 3 for Nate. penalty rush, I believe it was. It's a bit of front wing damage actually. That front right end plate has gone missing. Back up Stones. Thought these guys might have just had enough of battling for the end of the day, but they certainly haven't. So we'll keep an eye on these two as they go into the DRS. Right off boards, you can get any good angles of these two. That's a very late move out to the side. Well, the Haas really squeezing him into there. Well, that's a bit much if you ask me. It's a move done for the Haas driver anyway. Surprised he really hasn't taken off from the Ferrari driver after he picked up that damage. But it looks like he's going to try and do it now. 7/10 the gap already. Up to 9/10 now. Can he get him out of DRS? He will have it down this main straight, but through sector 1, I suspect he'll manage to drop him. Got a move on the back. Oh, Brother Adam's gone around again and picked up a 3-second penalty. Oh, sorry, that's Steve Summers picked up a 3-second penalty. That shouldn't matter too much for him with a 7-second lead. It was 10 seconds picked up Brother Adam for cutting the corner after his spin. I suspect he may be retiring in this race, but I hope not. Literally 1 lap to go. He might just set a... oh no, he's not got time to set a fastest lap, in fact. Put some fresh tyres on after serving his 10-second penalty and go straight back out again. Just Skipper in DRS this stage. He's got the softs on that we saw him take earlier. I would say tire advantage, but honestly I don't think he does at this stage. Those will be absolutely smashed to pieces. "20 laps done on the hard tyre around here is incredibly impressive for anybody. Let alone the 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers that have done it already. 21 laps they will have done after this lap, and 22 in total by the end of this race. That is fantastic. Andre back in with Stones. Stones charging that battery, as you can see, the flashing light ahead on the Haas driver's car, all the way through sector 1. I suspect will be looking to burn all of it out of the hairpin or the DRS straight, then that position of P3 against Andre. Yeah, absolutely smashes it out under acceleration, under traction, DRS, and DRS like that will be any good for Ferrari driver. Brother Adam out on the softs, he actually will get a lap or a attempt in getting the fastest lap around this track and lock up into turn 1, means he might have a bit more work to do around the rest of the lap. Quieting down in the last few laps of this race, we go down to Skipper, who's still on the back of Howard Connor despite those really old soft tyres. Howard Connor, of course, he's on a pair of old tyres himself. 18 laps on those hard tyres. Shame he only manages P13 as we speak, which will drop down to P14 with his penalty. We'll take a look at penalties just before someone comes across the line at the end. He will be going up or going down. We've got Pipke making moves in the dying. Oh no, it's finished. Something's finished. Am I insane? I missed it. Never mind. Fantastic win for D Summers again, basically reenacting his Azerbaijan Grand Prix, dominant in all aspects, finishing almost 6 seconds ahead of Johnny, who had a fantastic race to get up to P2, and Andre finishing on the podium in likely the position I expected Pipke to finish. Scones, well, actually likely gave back that position to Andre, but of course I apologise if Andre got that on merit. Fantastic stuff from him. That was the top 4. I'll take you through the rest once this has conceded. E4 for Scones as we were on board there. Can't believe I missed that. I thought we had another lap to go, or rather that he was just nowhere near to finish. Finishing just, Radon was just that far behind. Victory for D Summers. That's 2 on the trot after his first. The tap has been opened and it is flowing. Victories are flowing. Fantastic stuff. Let's have a quick agility up to P5 from P7. Fantastic stuff. And Scones actually retains the fastest lap of a 36.6. Brother Adam did not take away from him. Lil Mikey, a fantastic race for a man who never practices, and not a single penalty. Probably the more impressive part of his race. I'm down to P7, but a reasonable outcome after he horrendous one lap, one instance with the other two, Pombeer P8 and Pipke P9. Like I said, those guys at the front, horrendous instance. That Raikkonen finishes us off, points finishes in P10. Skipper, Lakatsis, and Composite all made positions in this race. D-Rush dropped just the one actually in this race. Nathan, of course, didn't qualify, so gained a few positions. And the rest you can see, Havoc Connor, Brother Adam, Pavlo, Tom Putty, and Bog not have a race at all. The two at the back, DNFing for good measure. Oh, okay. That was, unfortunately, I hate to say it because I despise this track. A really, really entertaining. Plenty of fantastic moves. In fact, I believe I did just catch right at the end that I've recorded and didn't send. It was actually, yes, Andre making a dive on Scones in the final sector. Just what I thought I'd show you. Definitely deserves that. But that is it for tonight in Texas. Of course, we will be back next week for a race around Mexico. Good track there. I'm sure there'll be plenty of carnage there into turn 1, as we saw in the real race this year. Of course, it'll be a Wednesday for Division 1 with your commentator D Summers, who's absolutely killing it in Division 2 right now. Thursday it will be to watch Division 2. So, I have been Grelis33. Have a good Friday and a weekend. I'll see you soon.